Yeah, what was your first reaction? He's like, I'm going to gain 35 pounds. I'm going to start trying to get 200-mile-an-hour ball speed. Where you're like, that seems drastic.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, a little nervous.
A lot.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it really.
you got to. I mean, like you said, people make changes and it fails sometimes. And here's a guy that's a world-class player that's won on the PGA Tour, and he's like, I'm going to totally change everything I do right now.
Yeah,
and it's got to be a tough, like, as part of his team, you got to be like, oh boy, I don't know.
Yeah. And that's 100% it. So that was my whole thing. It's like, okay, you need to understand what the risk is, but I'm not saying don't do it. At the end of the day, it wouldn't matter. You're just like, you're going to do it.
Yeah. You strike me as the kind of guy who thinks something's going to work, but there's no convincing him otherwise.
So, yeah, but exercise and futility for sure. But to me, it's like, okay, be smart about this. You're going to do this. I kind of know you're going to do it. And I'm not even saying, like, you shouldn't do it. Do it. Like chase it. Like, I think it's cool when people chase that sort of, that vision they have, that the highest level that they kind of see themselves being. It's like, okay, awesome. Do it smartly. Measure stuff along the way. Kind of know the baseline of your swing, where you're starting from. Because like you said, he was already a great player. So that way, if you kind of go down a path that doesn't fit you, you have a better chance of unraveling that and kind of getting back to that previous baseline that you know worked at some capacity, right? So to me, like the analogy would be leaving breadcrumbs in the forest, so that way you don't end up getting lost in kind of the labyrinth of making these changes.
Let me ask you this before you ask your next question. Do you think if like you have all this technology, all this 3D and everything, say 20 years, 30 years before this stuff happened, do you think Bryson could change his body and be successful without technology?
Yes, 100%. I just think the possibility of going down a path that didn't fit him and then not knowing how to get out of that would be higher. So, I mean, like, look, if he went down the path he went down right now, hypothetically, years before in this technology, it would have worked out. But what is the chances of him going down the correct path, and then also what are the chances of him going down the wrong path? I think that probability changes somewhat without having ways to kind of measure what you're doing along the way.